So, what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, a lot of traders can say, hey, gold is gonna drop this week, right? But that don't mean it's gonna drop right now. So if somebody got into gold right now, then they're gonna be in drawdown, right? So being able to identify minor structure helps you to eliminate drawdown, if that makes sense. So in the market, you have right now money, and then you got the overall move of what's gonna happen during the week money. You know what I'm saying? And they're two completely different things. But
Okay.
in order to identify minor structure and major structure like that really takes a lot of practice and a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Any other questions before I go ahead and start? No questions? All right. So
Um,
what you say?
I said thank you so much.
No problem at all. So I'm gonna actually go over the main trades that I took last week. I'm gonna show you my entries for them. And then I'm actually going to go over the market for I just literally looked at I did all my markups a little bit earlier, and I just looked at half of them and they played out when the market opened, so it's very annoying. But all right, so the two main trades that I took this week, let me ask y'all, do y'all know what they are before I start?
Gold, gold.
No.
GU.
Do
What's up, right?
And what? It was two that I posted on Instagram.
EU, EU.
Yes, good job. So GU and EU. All right. So GU, the reason I took this trade was because on minor structure there was divergence right here. This was the initial, and this is something, and this is just me being real. Like I'm gonna tell y'all everything that happened step by step with this GU trade and why I was pissed, but also I'm gonna explain the whole thing. Okay. So I took this GU trade right here. Perfect entry. Boom, boom, boom. Came up here. Boom. All right. Knew it was going to reverse. All right. Put a little sell order in, but I kept this buy position. All right. The reason I kept this buy position was, and I think we talked about this like a little while ago. I was so mad probably like 2 weeks ago. All right. Because I took GU literally over here for a buy. I had it like right here, right? And I pulled it when it got to my resistance zone. This was a negative 27 on minor structure. I just adjusted the fib since then because I had other structures inside of that since. But this was here and then this need to be right there. Okay, so yeah, that was negative 27 hit. So once it hit, I literally like it hit me, take profit, whatever, boom, boom, boom. But then this shit, and I have to cuss because it really is that serious. Okay. Then it kept just buying. Literally, it went up 400 pips on major structure. Okay. And I was just like, damn, I really should have like just held it straight. Okay. So over here, all right, I knew that GU was going to reverse, but this is the thing. I thought GU was just going to reverse a little bit and push up to this trend line. All right. Instead, it literally stopped me out in profit, came all the way back down, made a new low, which, okay, cool, because I entered again anyways. But I just hate, like, I hate giving back the market the money that it just gave me. Like, that is the most annoying shit as a trader that you will ever have to face, especially when you got perfect ass entries. Okay. Excuse my language, but it really is that serious because I be on my shit. Okay. So that's what happened. So I just want to tell y'all like some stuff is like, it's like, this is why I be so critical about like the right now money is for stuff like this. All right. However, EU was perfect and never pulled back to the entry. I literally caught EU all the way at the bottom. All right. Like right here. It did pull back significantly, but this was just another entry for people who didn't catch it on the whole. Like this was just clear as day, man. It came all the way down. It was oversold like hell. It literally bounced off of a monthly trend line, consolidated here for a little bit, bounced off. It was divergence. It was just a clear as day buy. Then price literally shot up. This was, I think, Tuesday. Stacy, when you come to We Work With Me, was that Tuesday?
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday.
All right, yeah. So Sunday, Monday, it had kept falling. Okay, so yes, because I took this buy on Tuesday morning. I took it right after, I think it was like right after, I don't know, I was there for a long time. But anyways, so I took the buy right here. All right. Then that was Tuesday. So then Wednesday, we pulling back. Thursday, Wednesday, we consolidated. Actually, Thursday, we had this pullback. Then Friday, literally, we shot it. All right. So that was the completion of that overall buy. The entry on that is here. Here. So it would have been once this resistance came back to test this little point right there. And then basically what it did was make a higher low point. All right. Now, where I have the market going now is, of course, pulling back. EU was very, very strong. This is the thing, though. And I was telling my students this earlier today. Anytime the market ends off very, very aggressive on a Friday, look for it to keep continuing in that direction just a little bit before the overall pullback. So I am like not gonna sell this until I have a little bit more confirmation. It's starting to be a little bearish, but this support, well, this will have to be tested as support. I just want to make sure this push is a little bit finished. So it could push up just a little bit more to like right here and then pull back. I just need to verify or make sure that that push is finished first. And then once price pulls back, you see how many times price hit right here. Let me get my little annotation tool here, 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 here. All right, so resistance broken. Resistance was broken. We pushed back up. We have to come back down here. But the question is, I'm just telling y'all this because I really, really care about entries. The question is, like, we have so many points in which price reversed over here. So we have like right here, and then we also have, I would say this whole little area right here. So this would just be kind of like a little range. Actually, that's really ugly. So let me just do it with my actual trading view stuff. So like this little range right here. Price can push anywhere in this before we actually have that pullback. So just make sure you don't enter this too early. But once you enter it, it's gonna fall to here. Okay. What else did I mark up? All right. So GJ is actually very oh my God. I was about to say let this fall some, because it's still, okay, well, let it fall some. It's still diverging. So this is basically what I just talked about on EU, except GJ is actually pushing, which makes sense because, of course, it's Asian session right now, whereas the US dollar is closed. The Great British Pound or the London session's closed right now. So it makes sense why actually GJ is pushing right now. But this is what I mean when I just said a second ago, how when something ends on Friday and it's very, very, very bullish or very, very, very bearish, like look for it to kind of finish off that push before the actual pullback happens. So as you see, this is like very aggressively pushing down. However, once that momentum stops, this is going to pull back to this resistance, just like EU is going to pull back to that support. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Make sense?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
like,
Yes.
like, honestly, this is probably one of the best setups because this is like perfect divergence right here, everything. If y'all see this, y'all see that? But just remember, you have to wait for stuff to finish diverging. And again, it's only because I really, really care about entry. So something can diverge for a while, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, let me find an example. So like, IRC one, let's see. I mean, these aren't really a while. Kind of like this a little bit, or like this. these are bad examples, but oh, here's one. This is what I mean. So this is perfect divergence, right? But you see how long it diverged first. However, we do have our indications with like our fibs and all that stuff to help us out. Actually, let me put one on here. But the thing is that this never gave me a valid pullback. It literally only hit negative 27. Sorry. It only hit 23.6, which is a continuation. So it's like, it's a continuation pattern. So I don't have a valid pullback on that to really have a solidified, like, this is the fib for this structure type thing. Because again, like none of these are really valid pullbacks. None of these pull back to 38.2 or higher. So it's like, no matter which one I put it on, it's like this structure is still kind of forming overall structure right now. Right? But I will go over the entry on this DJ trade from Friday. This was Thursday morning. No, was it Thursday or Friday? All right, so this was Thursday morning, which was this buy right here. Okay, well, let's take a step back. Sorry. So last Sunday, all right, we literally had, was this last Sunday? What's today? Today is the 15th. So yeah, so this was last Sunday right here. I gave out this setup. I said like once this hits there, or once this breaks, look for us to like do a little pullback to this real resistance area here. Resistance being this little whole boom area here, if you guys see that. All right, so then price pushed down to that trend line perfectly. Okay, whoop-de-woo. Then this was a push up to this new supply zone. All right, then price came down, tested. This was a buy entry right here. If you don't have a question, can y'all put y'all microphones on mute so it's not no feedback? Then this just pushed up to this resistance zone. We were already at our negative 61.8 on this major fib that is inside of here, if you guys can see that. All right, you probably can't, so I'm gonna use an annotation tool to show you. All right, so we had this whole impulsive structure. All right, this was this structure here. All right, do y'all see that? But we came off of an overall structure from back here, which was where this overall structure hit this negative 27 on this. This is a major structure fib right here. So boom, boom, boom. You guys see that? All right, so this would be the major structure. Then we had two minor structure trades inside of this. So boom, 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 that sell, this buy, and then basically now we're back selling off again. So Friday, yeah, so this was consolidating. Sunday, then we pushed up, like this was Sunday going into Monday. This finished off Tuesday around right here. Tuesday, Wednesday, this pushed up. Thursday, this was consolidating all of this structure right here. Friday, literally, we like fell to the floor. Hold on. Let me show you all this. So I'm meant to be on 15 minutes. This was kind of like a break and a retest of this structure here, of that like whole boom break and retest of that trend line, but it was a very, very minor break and retest there that happened. And then of course we have this push down, and then eventually price literally broke this supply and demand zone, pushed down, retested it, a major area of a retest, and then pushed down further. That's when it hit basically this first TP, and then now you see it's still at this negative 61.8 hanging around. This candle hasn't closed yet. I want to see if it closes like really, really bearish, or if it has some wick exhaustion. We have 10 more minutes for it to close. But again, regardless, GJ is definitely going to push back up to this supply and demand zone right here. But again, we need to wait for this divergence to finish. Does that make sense to everybody? I just feel like I said a mouthful. Okay, great. All right. So this is very annoying also. Okay, so I don't know why everything just decided to play out today. That's why, okay, so Sunday morning students, this is why I say I be waiting to trade, I be waiting to mark up on Sunday night call, because I hate when I be taking the time to already mark up stuff before the call, and then it plays out by the time the call happens, and then it's just like, what was the point? But anyway, so earlier I had this pushing up to this supply and just really the same thing that I just said about GJ and EU, except of course, just like I just said about GJ, the Asian market's open right now, which is why these are most likely pushing the way that they are. So literally market opened up right here, pushed up. Okay, yeah, pushed up literally here. All right. Boom, boom. All right. Literally had this wick, and then I had price coming back. When I analyzed it earlier, I only had price coming to this negative 27 off a major structure, which is here. If you see this fib, so I have point A to point B here, price pulled back. Is that at the bottom of this wick? Okay, yeah. Line that up, put that back. All right, so what was I saying? All right, so yeah, I only had price going to this negative 27 only because if you look left, there's a lot of wick exhaustion right here. So literally that's where I just had the TP set. But as you guys see, this is still flooring. So I am not going to give you an analysis on this until this momentum slows down, because really what I had already kind of played out. And now I need to see how this is going to finish out and see if this is going to end up coming here to this negative 61.8, pulling back again, and then coming down to test this overall. So, well, this isn't an overall. This is a 4-hour supply and demand zone right here. So, but I kind of need to see how these like candles form. It's on GU and, I mean, not GU, on EJ and GJ. But right now it's like kind of super bearish. Yeah. This 30-minute, but 30 minutes minor structure. So like, you know, minor structure can easily be broken, but this 30-minute candle closed with a wick. But the way this bearish momentum is right now on both EJ and we got 8 more minutes for both of the candles to close, but the fact that this already broke this negative 27, I'm definitely looking for it to push down to this negative 61.8 right here. And then again, you see how like if you look left, so when I do these analysis, when I say, okay, what is right now money? I always look at that next thing, because that's how you just really don't lose trades. If you look at the next thing that has to happen, you don't mess up, if that makes sense. So over here to the left where you have all this wick exhaustion, that's why that's that next thing. So if price, well, when price pushes up to here, which it did, if you guys see that, when price pushed up to there, okay, that next move that has to happen, because that was literally a level of resistance, it has to reject. So once it rejects, okay, it's going to come back to that level of support. Clearly, we see that level of support broke, but that's what I mean by like when people be like, oh my God, you read the market or the Gerson analysis is spot on. Like, it's really not that hard. I just look at what's about to happen or what is there. Now, I can't say it's not that hard because it did take a long ass time. But if you look right here, the reason I say that next level, if you look to the left, is here. However, in between that level, it was a lot of consolidation. So expectations in the future yield the same results that happened in the past. Does that make sense? So let's see how GJ and EJ close up. Let's look at gold. Gold is the only one I didn't mark up because gold I'm a little iffy on, all right? Because, and the reason I'm iffy, I know that price has to come here to this negative 61.8 right here. But my question in my mind is if it's going to do this minor structure pullback first. And the reason I say that is because this is starting to form divergence here, but it's not strong enough divergence where I'm like, oh, like y'all know how GJ, we have so many peaks on that. With this divergence, it's really, really shallow. It's like, let me show you. It's like just a little baby, like boop. You know what I'm saying? It's not like strength. And I don't really like how narrow or how let me show you what I mean. So let me see if I could just look left into something else and see. So any other time where there's like heavy divergence on gold, it's like, do I have any? I have to. There has to be some somewhere. All right, we can use this one. No, how come when I'm trying to find stuff, it never really work out the best? Probably because I'm trying to find a super clean one. Let me see. All right. I see some, but I want it to be more clean than this. But this is one right here. But there are actual like strong impulses that occur inside of those divergences. Y'all see what I'm saying? Or does that make sense of what I'm saying? I just can't seem to find one right now to kind of like show you what I'm saying. Let's go to a different pair. Let's go to all right, so y'all see how on this GJ right here, how strong this is right here? Y'all see that? And y'all saw how on that gold, it was just like very like mellow.
Yep.
Like, I don't like that. Because even though the divergence on the RSI is strong, when it's not that strong right here, sometimes that could just shoot up. So I'm a little iffy on this. I'm a little iffy on gold. It's like one of them things I need to set an alert on. But either way, gold, for a fact, either way, regardless, my ending point is here. Okay? Regardless. However, again, I really, really care about entries. So is the question here straight up, or is it gonna pull back a little bit and then go up? That's the thing. You see what I'm saying? Even Friday, like the only reason I had to buy only go into here was because of this little level of resistance right here. Now, this is the thing. You can always see super far into the future, right? But the way that you really like, the whole goal in trading is to protect your equity. That's the best way I can put it. Like, even though you can see far out or the big picture, you don't want your account going in a lot of drawdown before the big picture happens. So you always pay attention to what is point A to point B. That's it. Like, it ain't no rocket science. It's not like astronomical. It's literally just, what do you see? GU, I guess when the market, I had this analysis here earlier, but I guess when the market opened, it decided to wick down. It literally wicked to the point. The reason I had it going here was because this previous level of support right here. If you guys see this to the left, so I was like, all right, price gonna definitely come there for a bit. But clearly this already played out also. So price came here. Now just look, I'm looking for, once I had price come here, I wanted to see how it's gonna react. It did end up pushing up. But overall, I want to see it test this trend line right here. If you guys see this, y'all see that?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do you know when to use wicks for a trend line versus the body?
I never use the body.
Oh, never? Okay.
I don't ever use the body, ever. Never, not ever. I only use the wicks every time. So let me see something. Hold on, let me see. So GU push it. Yep, that makes perfect sense. So
What was that question? I missed the last piece of her question.
she said, how do I know, how do you know whether to, when do I use the wick opposed to the body for a trend line?
And you said you always use the Wix. Okay.
Yeah. Faith,
Great,
are you
thank
asking- no problem. Are you asking that because of your Instagram story?
Yeah, and I'm looking at this, the gold. So, because if I drop my trend line to the Wix, then it lines up with that little zone I got. But if I don't, if I got it on the body, then it doesn't reach the zone. And I like when a trend line lines up with a zone.
Yes, ma'am. Why? Because it's your what? Yes, period. But yeah, so yeah, no, I only use Wix. All right, so the DXY ended off super strong down to the downside, south side. Like I just said about all that momentum, so it's just a matter of finishing off that momentum. Of course, New York session is like literally 12 hours away, or 11 at this point, but right here, you see how we kind of consolidated, but ultimately the DXY needs to pull back, which is basically validity towards everything else. So if the DXY literally needs to pull back to continue down lower, then that makes perfect sense as to why I have GU pushing back to go higher, why I have gold pulling back to go higher. You see what I'm saying? So everything kind of like lines up, really. I mean, really, everything does line up. Right? Like even I traded USD CAD last week. I was looking at it very heavily, but I had the order even for that GU on Thursday or whenever it was. All of this divergence right here literally told me, okay, the dollar is about to drop. Like bingo, like this was a little resistance zone. Okay, the dollar is about to drop. All right, so what that mean? EU about to buy right now. GU about to buy right now. Literally USD CAD is about to drop right now. So that literally that drop on USD CAD was literally right here, all right here. Then Friday morning, I had a buy on USD CAD because when I looked at the DXY, which you can't really see it right now, but it was divergence on minor structure. It was divergence on minor structure right here, which told me, okay, the DXY is about to go up, which literally just lined up with, which lined up with USD CAD, okay? Because if this needs to push up to correct before going lower, if I go to USD CAD and then I literally look at it, okay, and need it to correct, boom, 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 before what? This ain't go lower yet, but it went lower. Like that sell on the DXY on Friday literally just ended into a double bottom for USD CAD, even though with UJ it completely dropped. But the reason being was because Canadian news, they had their unemployment news, or not unemployment, they had their employment news data, just like US dollar had theirs on Friday. So sometimes like when you have correlated pairs, or not correlated because they're not correlated at all, but when you have similar economies like news, right? So typically the US and Canada, when it comes to like employment news data and stuff like that, like a lot of that, like even a lot of times on non-farm non-farm payroll days, you will have Canadian news as well. So it's like, that's why this just made a double bottom. But then if you look at UJ had like dropped to the floor. Make sense? How this Kindle closed. Okay, so see, we had a wig. That's what I mean by not Pearl though. This is what I mean by like you gotta see, like I don't never wait for candles to close before I actually like place my orders, because when I place my orders, I have multiple confirmations as to why I need to place what I need to place. So had this not played out right now, this would have been a clear as day sale for me just because I'm literally at this resistance zone and price has nowhere else to go because it was already up here. And I already had a break and retest of this trend line. So I know that this is just the correction for that overall sell to finish. But once that sell starts happening, a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm about to sell now, and then get in a trade. And it's like, oh no, why is it pulling back? But if it already hits a TP level, or if you look left and it's like at an exhaustion zone or something like that, like that's why I say like, okay, well, I need to kind of see how this gonna play out some more before I like tell you the next thing, because the market has to give you enough data to come up with an answer. Does that make sense? That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. So where we are right now, still like I need some more formation to form or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna retest again. But regardless, I have EJ. I'd been had EJ dropping. So I just want to see if it's gonna like pull back a little bit more, because again, it can fall to this green demand zone, this 4-hour demand zone. It could fall to that 4-hour demand zone before pushing back up to that trend line, like long-term wise, right? Does that make sense?
Hey, Jessica, I have one question.
Hey.
Hello, how you doing? I'm a little nervous, but I just have one question. So, well, yeah, I just have a question, but I just want to know, for like your impulse move, like what does that really tell you? As far as like I've been studying, and I understand that that's where like that's how you determine the direction of the market, but like what does it tell you any more information besides that?
What do you mean in regards to impulse? Do you mean like the push, like?
Yeah, like your push phase. Your push and break of structure, like when it forms a higher high or a higher low.
So look at it as you running on a sprint, right? So really it is volume. Like when you just said, okay, does it tell me anything outside of the direction of the market? Really it is just volume. So let's just take a step over here. Let's take a step into past history, okay? So when I talk about how you have, what's the word I'm looking for? Minor structure inside of major structure and minor structure and so forth and so on. I'm gonna equate it like this. So this whole thing would be my push. Then I have my pullback. Then I have my continuation. That would literally be my 4-hour structure of this. However, I have a lot of small pushes and small little pullbacks inside of that overall. So when I said, what do you mean by that? The reason I asked is because, and I don't even mean to always be so technical on this when I talk about major and minor structure, but like y'all really have to understand the major and minor structure is like your bread and butter of the market, and the ability to understand the differentiation between the two, because you can have a big push on structure and then that will tell you that overall direction of the market, but then the market can completely wipe out all your profits in that. You see what I'm saying? But regardless, the answer to your question is that is telling you the volume of the market. So it's telling you, is there a lot of buyers or sellers? And then that pullback, like, I mean, that's just the structure. It's the flow. It's the flow of the market. Makes sense?
Okay, that makes so much sense. Okay, that makes sense.
And just look at it as like even when it comes to pullbacks, like look at it as like you working out. Like if you work out extremely hard or you go on a big push, right? You always expect a lot of consolidation after that big push. So think of it as if you just ran a hard ass sprint outside, you're gonna be tired, right? So you gotta take a little walk and you gotta recover before you go sprinting in. You see what I'm saying? That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, that makes so much sense. Thank you so much.
No problem. No problem. Any other questions?
You got it pulling back to your trend line?
Who?
GU.
Let me go to GU. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You talking about that push up?
Yeah.
Yeah, after this happens, yeah. I want to see a push up to my trend line. This zone right here, I have this resistance zone on right here.
Yeah, your supply zone.
Before the continuation of that overall sell, I do want to push up to my trend line. I just
Oh,
need to
okay.
see how this gonna form. This first move I had was here, which I already kind of played out, but next it's still kind of forming this little flag pattern, even though that already tested that level. I want to see how this is gonna, and to trade this, let me show y'all. Just draw a little bitty, just draw a small trend line like at the top of this. I really don't have enough candles formed yet, so I'm kind of forcing this just to show y'all. But once you have some actual candles that form, like, and what I mean by candles form is you will start to have something like this. Like there will start to be a pattern that's formed. You know what I'm saying? Where you can draw it. So like on that pullback structure, like let's say this next candle closes like this, and then we have like a whole flat pattern. Once that breaks, like you just set an alert on it, and once it breaks, if it shows you like a lot of like aggressive movement, you have an indication as to where the market is going next. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best way I can explain it for y'all to be on this call without like kind of making it too complicated. Yeah, but that GU buy on Friday was beautiful, man. That both, I mean, really the buy, the sell, the buy, all of it was beautiful. This was divergence on minor structure. This was divergence on minor structure. This was a double bottom on Friday. And then literally all of the news aligned with it also. So like the what news was last week? I talked about it on my Instagram. So you had consumer price index and then you had producer price index. Really, it came off of NFP. So remember NFP 2 weeks ago? Was that 2 weeks ago? God, lead time flying. All right, the week before last week, the week before this past Friday was NFP. That is when unemployment numbers were literally lowering. So of course the US dollar got super strong, right? And then when the consumer price index and producer price index came out, even though the numbers were good, they weren't as good as the economy or I guess the Feds expected. So literally it caused the US dollar to weaken, right? So all of these, like, I mean, really it's just confluences. That's all it is. Without making it too complicated, it's confluences. Multiple things that add up to give you the solution to why you have a bias that you have. Here we go. All right, so I'm about to go to sleep. I'm tired. So I need to take a nap. I had a long day. But I hope y'all have a wonderful day or night. And
You too, Jess. Thanks again. Hey, you too. Hey, Jess, can I say one more thing before you go?
yes.
About gold. You see gold pushing right now. You think it's going to just go ahead and hit your 61 without pulling back? It done pushed up like 30 pips.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I meant by I was hesitant about that whole little pullback. It still hasn't pushed up enough where I would be like, oh yeah, that's about to like shoot. Because that negative 61.8 is literally 191 pips away. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like enough. I'm like, oh my God, this is about to like bust it open. But it's just a little, you know what I'm saying? Like you still got like wick, stuff like that to be like it's still in that kind of like channel formation. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not like a whole bunch of bullish momentum that's broken that little structure channel.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm gonna take my profit because I got in when you said something about the six, and you know what I mean. But I ain't gonna try to the 61 yet. I'm waiting to see what happens tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but look though, because like this what I mean by it can keep. Well, hold on, let me show you my screen because I just put it up. Hold on. So share screen. All right, so this is what I mean. It's like it hasn't really broken. You see what I'm saying? Like it's still kind of like here. This can still come back down and just come to the bottom of this. You see what I'm saying? Like until I have like an actual way come back to validate that, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many times in which price can literally sit on a trend line and not break it. Like for instance, right? I'm gonna come back to this, to right here. All right, and I'm gonna go to actual like minor structure. I should do it on GU because GU would be a perfect example. Dang it, I didn't mean for that wick to form yet. I messed it up. Hold on, let me show you. No, let's do GJ. All right, so because I was explaining this last week. All right, here we go. Let's go right here. You see how this look like GJ breaking this trend line? On price, and you see how it's like sitting right here.
Yeah, it's taking a nap.
Yeah, it's like just because price is like sitting on something, you want it to actually break before you enter, because this literally had went straight back up. But at the point in which it was right here, it looked hella bearish. And I'm using this specific example because I literally had to break this down to somebody who this was another example. Ooh, this was a perfect one. I had to break this down to somebody that got in GJ way too early. And I was just like, it is there. It tells you. So look right here. This is a perfect example also. If you look at this alone, you will be like, oh my God, GJ breaking, let me get up in this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it did that. Hold on. I don't know why this is going so fast. I forgot to slow it down again. Hold on, let's see. GJ here. All right. So we're gonna slow it down so everybody can see. All right. So if you was in a trade, you would think this is like about to sell. I mean, not when that wick formed, but do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then it ended up pushing to the sky. Even though, I mean, eventually it fell, but.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what gold is right now. It's doing a little push up, gonna pull back down from here and then go up. So
You live in
Huh?
You live in DC?
Yeah, I sure do.
I hear your accent.
Yeah. This Phil's boy, John, man. You know, Phil turned me on to you.
Oh man, let me tell you, that accent is real. I know it when I hear it, okay?
Yeah, sure enough, man. We one of a kind out here, you hear me? Yeah, I told my folks, I said, man, she looked like she was out here a couple months back, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you was out this way. Yeah, man. Next time you out here, I'm gonna get up with you for sure. When you coming back?
I don't know. Stacy, you can stop recording.